So originally I wanted to do a video, I guess contrasting soul food, slave food, and bushmeat, right? But I think I want to just address the idea of soul food, quote unquote soul food, right? So-called soul food not being good or healthy for you, which is a ridiculous notion. If anyone has done any like research or looked into food preparation and how you actually get healthy and stay healthy, just eating quote unquote normal food. So soul food, not to go into a long history about it, but soul food got its name like in the 60s, where we were going through this black empowerment movement, where we got the whole soul sister, soul brother. That's where that's where this came from, right? So of course soul food, because you put your heart and soul into this food and it tasted so good, it was like you was doing magic. So that's number one. Soul food, of course, our cuisine descended from the same types of food or the same sort of food prep that we did back on the plantation or back during times of slavery, but it is not the same food that we ate as slaves. That's number one. And I said I wasn't going to try to address it, but I guess it just has to happen. Number two, first of all, if you prepare your food poorly, that's where the issue with the health comes in. I saw a few videos, people saying, this, that, and the third. And yes, if you're eating as if you're a vegetarian or trying to become more vegan, right, and you're trying to incorporate more vegan foods, that would be better for you, by and large, because eating huge amounts of fruits and vegetables and plant products, for the most part, not processed plant products, but just pure plant products, will be healthier for you versus just eating animal flesh and animal products. But again, there's a question of balance and moderation. But you also have to keep in mind that you need to be practicing the three detox, flush, and fasting. If you're not fasting, flushing, and detoxing, you're really not that healthy. Something develops in your intestines called plaque, right? Intestinal plaque, and it comes from eating. Of course, the food that you eat, as it moves through your intestinal tract, it leaves it leaves film as it passes through. This film, if it's not cleaned out, it hardens and becomes mucoid plaque, right? It becomes plaque, it becomes intestinal plaque, otherwise known as mucoid plaque. That plaque, these layers of plaque, doesn't allow you to absorb the true nutrients of your food, right? I know this is going around about. I'm gonna bring it back home. So, there are some things that are considered quote unquote soul food that is not that healthy for you. For instance, like mac and cheese, right? Of course, because you have the noodle. The noodle isn't that healthy, right? And then you have the cheese. But outside of that, again, it depends on how you prepare it. But everything else besides, and I'm just right now I'm just spitballing. I didn't take any time to make any notes or anything like that. But so correct me if I'm wrong, but outside of mac and cheese, everything else that is considered quote unquote or so-called soul food, if you prepare it the right way, it is absolutely healthy for you. Black eyed peas, greens, cornbread, even cornbread, because corn, the proper way to consume it is to, eat the kernel and then mash it into like a paste or a dust or something to that degree. Because I don't know if you all know, but if you eating corn off the cob or even just corn kernels, your body don't even really digest most of that. But again, I might just do a separate, my thoughts on how to remain healthy and just eating normal types of food and what you typically need to do. Just as a side note, in order to increase your body productivity, you probably want to substitute one or two of your meals with either a juice or a smoothie, right? And I'm talking about juiced or a juiced plants, right? Excuse me, fruits and vegetables. And then of course the smoothie would be the same thing. But the smoothie, you can go, a little more crazy than you can with the juicing it, because you typically can only juice fruits and vegetables that are literally full of like liquids. When you're doing a smoothie, you know, you can add peanuts and things of that nature, bananas. So that's a little different. But either one, you know, you want to juice it or you want to make a smoothie and replace one of your meals with that. Now, I know it's hard to replace a meal with just like some sort of juice, and that takes discipline. You can work up to that point. But smoothie is a little easier, and it's much better on your body because it's already broken down. A lot of energy goes into breaking the food down, which a lot of people don't understand. Like a lot of times they say, oh, you know, I have fog, or I feel lethargic, I'm tired. That's because of the food you're eating. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with soul food. You know, let me get back on point. So, yeah, again, so it's just about the food. I mean, you know, again, if you're eating, and this is my opinion, I'm going to go back into my opinion. A lot of people have problems with different types of food. Like they like to stand on this, they like to finger wag and stand on this little podium or pedestal or hill or whatever and say, oh, you eat shellfish, oh, you eat seafood, oh, you eat pork, oh, you eat this, you eat that. And the truth of the matter is, most animal products, most meat, if it's not raised the right way, right, it is bad for you, period. It doesn't matter. If a pig is raised the right way on a farm, pig meat isn't that bad for you. Now, again, this goes into how much pork are you eating is the question. If you're eating just enormous amounts of pork meat, that's a problem. Same thing if you eat enormous amounts of chicken, that's a problem. Also, chickens are disgusting creatures if given their own little free reign. If you don't raise them the right way, they are just as bad, if probably not worse than pork. Same thing with fish. Fish can be disgusting creatures if you don't raise them the right way. Again, this is why, you know, I think halal and kosher, I can't remember whichever one, but specifically, one of them focuses more on straight vegetarian meat because they're less likely to cannibalize each other. When you start eating animals that are likely to just eat each other if the conditions get wrong, you don't want to eat that kind of food, right? So again, you know, I'm just here, I'm trying to, maybe this might not even be on topic anymore, but, you know, it just rubbed me the wrong way when I heard people trying to say, oh, soul food is slave food, and, you know, yada, 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 and I didn't even get to bushmeat. And so, for instance, okay, let's talk about bushmeat, all right? Currently, right now, the way most indigenous tribes and groups procure or secure their food is from the bush meat arena, right? Meaning that they just, if it's on fours and they got fur, kill and eat it, right? Now, I'm not even going to give my opinion on that, but what I'm going to say is all indigenous tribes around the world have a similar way of consuming the entire animal. So this whole idea of, oh, you eating pig feet and cow ears and oxtail and intestines and the eyeballs. Yeah, when we were living off the land, we learned how to consume the entire animal. So again, this goes back to proper preparation, and also pairing of your food, right? I haven't even gotten into that. What food should you pair with other foods, right? And there's a science to this stuff too. But anyway, so this whole the notion of chitlins, right? I personally don't eat chitlins anymore, but honestly, if you prepare it the right way and it comes from the right type of pig that's also been raised the right way, there's really nothing wrong, so to speak, with eating chitlins. Again, it goes back to moderation, balancing, doing the right thing, fasting, detoxing, and flushing your body out. You know, a lot of times, you know, I guess I'm about to go into another rant. Looks like I'm about to run out of time too. The issue is when we don't flush our system out, right? You have these free radicals, you have different issues that just have free reign inside your body, and it comes from eating anything, really, because honestly, even if you just eat vegetables, fruits, vegetables, herbs, roots, stuff like that, even those have free radicals that harm your body. So if you're not, even if you're a vegan or vegetarian and you're not flushing, fasting, or detoxing, you're still in a state of dis-ease, right? Not as much as if you was just eating burgers and hot wings and stuff like that, but you still need to practice these things to keep yourself healthy. I am an omnivore. I lean more towards veganism and vegetarianism. I try to have more fruits and vegetables and things of that nature, but I still eat meat. I don't have a problem with it. That's the video, all right?